Ariel Helwani for JerryPark.com, being joined by the victorious Nick Diaz. And Nick, first off, congratulations on a very impressive victory. Were you expecting the fight to go that easily for you tonight?
Who said it was easy, It took a lot of, easier said than done.
We know how disappointing the KJ Noons loss was to you. Do you feel as though you finally put that past you and have now kind of reestablished yourself in MMA?
I didn't feel like that was a loss, That's the doctor's fault. You know what I mean? They never would have stopped that fight in Vegas, so whatever. You know what I mean? And that guy is trying to turn a box or whatever he can, and he's not doing a good job. I fight the guy in a pro boxing match. Of course, I don't think they pay me enough money versus these MMA fights that they're paying right now. A little more money, I think, for me to be fighting. So I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to have to say farewell to that, I suppose. And but whatever, no hard feelings. I don't feel like he won. I never did. So people try to talk like, oh, I did this. And then I'm like, what the fuck do you know? You're a fighter, So, but, this fight, though, I feel like, I could have finished this fight on the ground with a submission, but sometimes it's a little bit easier not try, just to throw punches. And it's more of a sure thing if you do the damage in the rounds. You don't get that submission, the guy gets up, at least you put in that damage for the next round. So sometimes it's a little smarter way to go. But my coach fought him before. Cesar Gracie fought him before. And, if I had gotten to the ground, which could have happened very easily, Frank never would have won that fight. I don't think I ever would have ended up with this fight. So I'm very grateful for my coach. And I don't put too much thought into it. I put more into my training. And then, most people are doing a lot of interviews and build up and stuff, and that's how I know that they're not training for me, because I know that I wouldn't have time to do that. There's too much stress involved in trying to make it to your next chance. You got to make sleep, you got to make training 3 times a day. You can't be missing 1 or 2 days. I'm gonna have that up on you, and you can't do that. Every day is gonna count. So I put a lot of hard work in. People don't understand that.
All right, well, it's a big night for Nick Diaz. A very impressive performance against Frank Shamrock tonight. Great stuff, and congratulations on the victory.
I just opened a school in Lodi on 230 School Street, right on the corner of Lodi Avenue and School Street, across from Lions Restaurant. So if you want to come and train in jiu-jitsu with me, I'm with Cesar Gracie's jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts training there. So
we've heard some rumors that you will be fighting Sakurai next. Is that in fact true?
I believe so. I think so. If everything goes right, and they don't back out of the fight like last time, we should be fighting.
Will your Strikeforce title be on the line?
I know it's just a dream fight. It's a completely different sport as far as I'm concerned. It's in a ring and much more closer to real fighting as far as I'm concerned.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's a cage fighting. It's a ball game. It's the cage game over there. It's a fight game. That's the way I see it. It kind of favors the more technical fighter and brings out the more technical aspect in the sport. You can't really stall. They'll take your money. You have to fight. So, I think it favors the more technical, well-versed mixed martial artists. So,
do you prefer fighting over there?
I don't put my faith in chance. If I'm feeling good, and chances are, chances are my mental state's going to go good and everything's going to go good. I know my mental state is going to be fine because I know I'm going to know what to do. I know, action, reaction. I do this. This guy's going to do this. I'm going to have to do this. He's going to have to do that to counter. And if you don't have the next thing there for me, then I'm going to walk all over him. So, I'm going to be able to go do it like that.
Final question. I just want to ask you, late last month, George St. Pierre defeated Dan Hardy. You were there cornering your brother, and a lot of people weren't happy with that fight, and they're saying, the guy at 170 who will give GSP a fight is Nick Diaz. Unfortunately, he fights for Strikeforce. What do you make? I mean, is this a fight that you feel that you need to, it needs to happen regardless, and you would like to do whatever it takes to make that fight happen?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, George. What do you say? I'm saying, if I was him, I'd stand up and say something. I'd be like, hey, let's make this happen or whatever,
That is the fight you would love to happen, right?
Yeah, but regardless, I'm the, he's not talking like he wants to fight me, but I'm the only guy that's people are talking about for that fight. And so it's just like, everybody acts like that's like not even a possibility or something. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's not a possibility because, you know, this guy doesn't want to stand up and fight me. He said, fight me. I said, hey, look, you know, I want to fight anybody I can that people are talking good about, you know. I don't care if it's even a heavier weight or what, but, you know, I want to fight the best fighters there are out there. And, you know, I think, you know, I just think that we should get this thing going. You know what I'm saying? If this guy stands up in the middle of the cage after he wins a fight and says, hey, I want to fight Nick Diaz, I'll hop the cage and I'll get up in this face and I say, what's up? Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? But if I said something like that, I don't think he'd get up out of his seat. You know, I think he'd just sit there. So, you know, otherwise this fight would happen. So, you know what I mean? Otherwise this fight would happen. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, I think we get this show on the road. You know, if this guy was down to fight me, but I don't think he's down to fight me, you know?
This guy being GSP.
Yeah, right? You know?
Nick, explain what happened after the Jake Shields fight.
I don't know. Miller, he just kind of appeared all of a sudden out of nowhere, you know? It's just kind of, I don't know. Everybody just kind of reacted, you know? I don't know what happened.
Did you know?
I honestly don't know what happened. I don't know what, you know. People are like, oh, you did this or that. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't see it. That all happened real quick. So, but it makes me really angry, you know, because I just see my you know, my partner, you know, he really pushed this one out, you know, and you know, he really pulled through for us, you know, and won that fight, you know. He fought hard, and then this guy's gonna get up in his, you know. I'm like, dude, you know what I mean? It's like my brother, you know. So you know, that just made me really angry. You know what I mean? This guy just went. He already went to battle. Now his job's done. So if anybody's gonna, you know, if anybody's gonna be fighting now, it's definitely not gonna be him. We're standing right there. Everybody's standing right there. But I don't know what happened. Like I said, you know, I just I would want my partners to have my back, you know. So I got their back, you know, and
do you regret anything that transpired afterwards?
I don't know what happened. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know what happened. All I know is I'm in a giant grappling, people hitting me. I get a giant knot in the back of my head right now. So like I said, I don't know. I'm like, someone hit me in there. I don't even know what happened. After I got hit with something, somebody hit me, and I'm just angry. And everybody's kind of fighting a little bit, you know. I stopped. John grabbed me, and then I stopped. I'm like, all right, John, I ain't fighting as long as you don't let these people hit on me when I'm, you know, all on the ground here. Because I'm like, people are holding me, and then other people are hitting me. So, but that's all I know. That's all I remember that happened.
Finally, anything you want to say to the people, just because the lasting image on CBS was, you know, sort of overshadowed a bit what happened?
Yeah, I just want to say, you know, I apologize. It wasn't my fault. You know, I got my boys back. You know, you bring me, you know, you bring me in a corner, my partner, you know. I expect the same from my corner. You know, I'm like, I just fought. Somebody better, you know, keep me from getting, you know, cold caught with some hot one real quick. You know, from the side or whatever. So, you know, that's just what everybody reacted. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm like, you know, I wasn't headhunting out there. I was just going, and then everybody's fighting. I'm just protecting myself and my partner. So that's all I know. But I apologize. You know.
What about now? Is that something that still bothers you?
I'm just happy that you know, KJ took the fight, and you know, I didn't feel like he was going to take the fight a long time ago, and I'm just happy that, you know, he's here to fight now. And, you know, I'm just happy to be here to represent my team and Cesar Gracie. And, you know, that's that. It was kind of hard for me. I don't want to say it was hard. I had good training for that fight. But, you know, it's kind of discouraging to fight somebody that's nobody knows who they are and stuff like that. I'd rather fight Fedor, you know. And you don't really want to lose to a guy that nobody's heard of, you know. Not that I didn't think he wasn't good, you know. I knew that it was going to be kind of a mess in there, and sure enough, it was. You know, I don't look at it like, you know, I don't look at it like I love to fight, you know. I look at it more like I have to fight, you know, because if there was any quit in this game, from the beginning, I wouldn't have made it this far, you know. So, It's just kind of my life is to fight. And that's what I've dedicated it to. So there's not really much off time. I've got a lot of teammates to worry about. A lot of times I'm worrying about them a lot more than myself. And then that helps, take me through my fights. Before you know it, I'm trained up on account of these guys. And then I just kind of sharpen up for my fight. And some people say things like, I don't know why you'd want to live his life that way. But, it kind of enhances my sense of security. And that's just how I go.
Nick, Dana White said, you don't play the game. Then the video came out this week and you said you're ready to play the game. Just write down the job description and whatnot. Are you kind of hinting to going over to the UFC?
I'm sorry. Like I said, no disrespect or anything, but I feel that I would win the jiu-jitsu match, I mean, if it was a jiu-jitsu match, I won on the points with the guard pass and everything. So, we got some jiu-jitsu people out here. What's going on? No, so I'll tell you what, I didn't, Kunin, she came in, and she shook my hand before the fight. And she had her hands wrapped already. And I'm going, isn't she coming out before me? And I was going, I should probably already be wrapped right now. So it was not going good whatsoever. I had a really late warm-up. And, not that I didn't have a really good corner with me, but we were just kind of relaxing a little bit too much back there. So I was really in a hurry to get I was Josh Thompson's fighting. I'm being wrapped, and I'm like, oh my God, no! I'm just going like, please don't get knocked out. I'm rooting for Josh. Like, come on, Josh, don't tap out or So I feel like I'm getting a little bit more respect than I used to. People aren't making such a joke out of me anymore, and it feels great.
Do you feel as though you still have some doubters, to prove wrong?
I think there's just people out there that don't really like me very much.
Why?
But I was for whatever, it's it's NorCal. Sorry, NorCal. It's a lot of the people who are out there talking, they're coming out of the other side. They're coming from Southern California. And we have better fighters out here. That's all there is to it. There's better fighters out here in Northern California. And everybody, that's just, even in jiu-jitsu tournaments, growing up as a kid, I'd go to jiu-jitsu tournaments, and then, we would think we were in for, I'd go to a purple belt division, smoke everybody like they were blue belts, and then I'd come back here and have a rough time in a tournament out here. They just have better jiu-jitsu out here, and there's just better training out here. People are more real about things, are real more hardcore. It's really, it's just, I feel like it's about show, it's really for show out towards that way. And I feel like everybody who's talking about me and has, all this negativity towards me, they're not coming from where I'm from. These people, nobody hears anything from anybody where I'm from. So that's why you hear so much negativity about me.
Nick, good to see you again. A lot of people are very excited for this fight. How are you feeling in the days leading up to it?
I'm all right. I wasn't going to do this interview, but they told me I had to. So, I feel good. I'm ready to fight. And I don't know. I don't have much to say.
Something against me? Do you not like me, Nick?
I feel like you instigate fights quite a bit, but that's
fights between the fighters.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's your job, but where I come from, people like that get slapped. These fights, they fight me too much. I'm most overworked, overtrained, underpaid. Fighter. That's what I feel, anyways. I do get paid well as an MMA fighter, but this isn't boxing, and I think we should get paid like this is boxing. I hear about people like George getting paid way more than me, and then Manny Pacquiao and people professional boxers getting paid that much money. I don't even know why I'm doing this anymore, because I feel like I get paid way too much money, but not enough. And I'm more than happy with that. I can live with that. You know what I mean? I live in Stockton. I don't need much, so. But I'm here to fight. I'm not afraid to fight.
There seems to be a lot of mutual respect between you and Paul. A lot of people, when this fight was announced, thought there would be some trash talking, but he said very nice things about you, and you seem to have respect for him. Is that the case?
Well, you're the only one that started any talking about this fight. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're the one saying, "Oh, he says he's gonna, will do this to you and that to you." I was giving an analogy about how I thought the fight might go if it in my favor if it did, And then you're saying I made these statements to him, and then he's like, "Oh, I'll knock Nick Diaz out or something." And all I say now is like, right, he says he's gonna knock me out, but all I say is that's the only way he can win. So, there's not much to say. There's no mutual respect. What, he's not talking to, I'm not talking to, why would I have anything, talk bad about him? I hope he don't hit me with the cheap shot, but I understand, what it feels like to be held down for 3 rounds and it just don't feel like this guy is avoiding the fight now. You know what I mean? He's avoiding the fight and he wins the fight. So the guy who doesn't fight gets to win. So on account of this rules and scoring criteria that we've developed, and we used to have a whole other organization called Pride with different rules, and I think it worked out way more, for exciting fights, and you get to see a lot more technical aspect come out in the fight. You get to see, a guy. You get yellow carded if he holds the guy, so it forces him, to punch the guy. He can't just elbow the guy because he has to create some space to punch, So he can't just hold the guy and cheat with little bumping the guy with little elbows. He has to create an amount of space, away from this guy to punch down on him. That space that he needs to make before he gets yellow carded is the same space I might be trying to make so that I can get my ass back up and fight this guy when he's not trying to fight me. So he should be carded for stalling. And we've got this whole system going on here, and everybody's, bought up the other organization and thrown it away, try to hide it. And it's just wrong, I feel like the Japanese, they kind of knew how the martial arts went and how it should be. And the more technical, martial artist or wrestler or boxer, and the best man's going to win, by these old rules, is the way I feel. I feel like, it favors the more technical boxer and martial artist, and all this UFC and the cage fighting nowadays, it's always been geared towards the wrestler. It's always been geared towards the wrestler. I knew that, and then as soon as I started fighting the UFC, I knew I needed to really pick it up and start playing that game, and learn how to fight like that, because I'm winning. I can go out there and do damage and win on damage and lose a fight, but I got to win on this criteria, So, I won fights on the past and damage in my own mind, in my eyes, in their eyes, but in the judge's eyes, the other guy won. But when I went home, and they went home, they know who really won the fight. You know what I mean? So,
was that how you thought the fight would actually play out?
Yeah. If it were to go in my favor, this is what I said before. So yeah, that's what I wasn't talking no shit to start. That's just what I said would happen. If I win a fight, that's what's gonna happen, right? That's what happened. So it's a done deal. I need a vacation anyways. They fight me too much. I'm not gonna be the one to back out of these fights. Nobody gives about me. They're over here throwing me in a fight after fight after fight. They're like, "Oh, this guy will knock him out. We'll get rid of him like that." You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have to find some other way. You know what I mean?
I actually heard last week you competed in a triathlon, correct? Are you going to look to maybe take some time?
My friend Paul beat me. I got a mountain biking, and he started training up. And he became a really good mountain biker. So I thought I'd be fine if I just had a good swim and kept ahead of him on the bike course. And then he comes running up the hills and passed me, and that was kind of hard to deal with. So I already kind of went through like a loss in a way.
Maybe that motivated you for this.
I think it just kind of, I don't know. It did something, but I'm gonna, but that got me in shape, and I'm feeling good for the whole season here, and
what's your next triathlon?
A good time. This fight and the last fight, this is for me. I mean, right now this year, it's just probably I haven't been at my best. This isn't fair. If you call that a fair fight, I know people think that's a fair fight. That wasn't a fair fight. I just fought. I kicked up in the leg. I go out there, what's the guy do? He tries to kick me right in my leg, And that's not a fair fight, man, And my other fight before that wasn't a fair fight. None of these have been, you know what I mean? I got people out to get me, and I had a good training for a KG Noons fight, and that still was, I didn't have but a month to train for that fight, and I wasn't sure if that fight was going to go through or not. Just like every fight, I'm fighting blind opponents. I don't know who it's going to be, who I'm fighting, or if I'm really fighting them. And then on top of that, in the last 2 weeks, there's like all this indecisiveness on whether or not they're going to pull out. And people are like, oh, we don't know if we should tell him or, keep him training and all that, And I've never had a real training. Like everybody caters to somebody that are having some fight that's really big and important. I'm like, what fight is more important than this? But nobody really gives a shit, you know what I mean? They're just like, oh, hey, you're fighting again in 2 weeks. So, I'm like, lucky I already trained my ass myself, and people, and it's not like I got like some bandwagon behind me kicking me, I'm lucky I'm trying to help my partners out, and that's why I'm in shape, you know what I mean? So, extra credit work, I train hard in the gym, and nobody wants to come out to Stockton, California. It's not a bad place, really. Half of it's kind of on the harsh side, and I'm trying to stick to my side. And then
I was here for your fight with Frank.
Yeah, it's nice. So it's not too bad over there, and that's kind of it's downtown there where the fight was. But you know what I mean? It's nobody really. There's not much going on out there, so people don't really want to come out there. I like it because that's where I grew up, and then it's an hour from everything. I can drive to Sacramento, and I can get up into the mountains, real convenient, and then I can get to San Francisco and train with Shields and Gilbert and everybody. And I don't mind the hour drive after I've been doing it all this time. It's kind of like time to relax and think about everything. My brother's the most important thing to me. Probably more important than anything. A lot of the time, it's why I have to push forward and do so good, because I can't. There'd been a lot less pressure on me if I didn't have a younger brother, and I'm happy I do. I'm happy I do have a younger brother. I have a great younger brother and training partner, and I'm really grateful and thankful for that.
Have you noticed that things have changed for you in terms of your popularity in the last few months?
No, that's what I live in Stockton. Like I was saying, that's kind of some of the perks about living in Stockton. Nobody, even if people do know who you are, they're not going to say anything. They're going to act, like, oh, well, I don't care who he is. So, it's good for me. It keeps me, training right, and not all, I don't really get into the whole everybody paying attention to you thing, because most of the time I don't get recognized when I'm in town. They always want to see somebody, hit a tire with a hammer over. I get hit a tire with a hammer over and over again. No one's going to know how hard I'm working, or it's not, it's hard to, sometimes I feel like it's a lot of wasted energy that can be put towards something that you're going to excel in, and then once you excel in, you're going to get better at hitting the tire, and then a couple years down the road, you're the best tire swing hitter and sled dragger. If you fight for the title, you make a lot of money. And if you win the title, you make a lot of money just holding that thing, It's like people are throwing money at you everywhere you go. I don't have that, I can't stop fighting right now. If I wanted to, I need to make some money. And I don't spend a lot of money. I spend money on training, but I gotta work hard and get paid, just like everybody goes to work, every day. And it's hard times. Nobody likes people are like, oh, you love sparring. It's a job. So the money takes the fun out of it. It's fun. I love jiu-jitsu. I love boxing. I love practicing and training, and but fighting for money, against people, that's it's not my favorite.
I also want to thank you because every morning I wake up and I get a few people online who tell me that where they come from, people like me get slapped, and that's because of you. So I feel like I thank you for that, because a lot of tough people online are now threatening me every day, and I think that's partially some fans of yours. So thank you for that.
Right on.
It's something that I think we'll never live down. We can leave it at that. You don't still feel that same way, right?
About that you should be slapped? Yeah. No, I mean I'm over it. Just kind of expect the worst, especially in once I go out to fight. I try to visualize all the worst possible things happening to me that could possibly happen, and go over each and every one of them, and accept that as it being like a reality, and I think it makes things go a lot smoother. Other people are always like, they always want to think about the positive, don't think about the negative, and I'm like that. I believe that thinking about the negative is kind of, a way of canceling out all these possibilities one by one. Because the odds are I'm not going to guess what's going to happen, but if I can guess every scenario gone wrong, then, maybe I can change the outcome. In my room to where what was left there, I have my bed, everything's gone. So I'm looking around for my passport where I knew it was, because I had to jump on this flight and I couldn't find my passport. And I don't have a license. I don't have one yet. I'm working on getting it back. But I mean, like, I don't drink and drive or anything. I don't even drink. I have a good driving record too with that. But, as far as like crashing or anything like that. But I've got a lot of speeding tickets before that daily fight. And to make it up there to you can't be late. You can go over there sparring Andre Ward. You got to show up on time. And I had to learn that the hard way, actually. But it's hard for me, because I live an hour away, though. And I tend to overtrain here and there. And it's just, I have a hard time getting to bed at night. So, I just got a lot of speeding tickets. I didn't have a license. I have any form of ID. Right now, I got a California ID in my pocket so that I could, I wouldn't have issues flying around and stuff. Or, as soon as I let them know, I'm like, hey, I don't have, my passport and everything. And I got that stuff together. But, while that was going on, I couldn't find any form of identification to leave the country. And then I found out that you can fly without ID, like to Vegas, if you're telling them, hey, and they put you through more security. And which was kind of a stressful thing to even think about. I just was really demotivated and not. And I also didn't know it was a press conference. It's not like I wake up every morning and I hear the news or people. I didn't know I had a press conference, like where they sit, me and George down whenever press. That was all a surprise. And then when I did find out it was a press conference, it was last minute. And I was like, great, what do I wear? So it just wasn't, I was just having, when I start training for a fight, nothing's easy about it. And all I care about is training and fight. Walk all over everybody and, push everybody aside and just kind of worry about, winning this fight. And then I had my mom drive me to practice everywhere. I made my mom, I'm really grateful I had her she took me, assigned me up at the Animal House gym when I started training. And I would make her drive me all the way to Concord to train at the Caesar Academy. It's an hour drive. And she worked full time as a waitress. So she would drive me all the way down Highway 12 and hang out for a few hours or something so I could train there. And so I was really lucky for that. But that's why I'm here. I'm fighting hard. I'm training hard. I'm still walking on people and stepping over people and to get where I'm going. And I would really, I'd like to give back, especially to my mom who's there for me and when I was a kid. And I'm just not able to do that right now. Not the way I'd like to. I like to do things the right way.
You're not really sure if you still like doing this and fighting. Is that accurate?
I never liked doing this. Never liked doing this.
So why'd you do it in the first place?
Because I don't like not having a job, and this is all I could do. Especially when I first started mixed martial arts. This is all I could do. So I even said it in after fight interviews or something. This is all I know how to do. It's all I'm good at. So that's what I do. And but no, I love jiu-jitsu and I love my team and I love I love repping Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu and I love athletics and martial arts and competition because it gets me right and puts me in the right place and to get in shape and stay healthy and motivates all these good ideas and things. Like for instance, maybe having knowing how to do doing something else for a living. For instance, like I think nowadays would be a lot easier for me to just go and just do anything. I can't complain. It's not like I don't need much. And I just all I'm saying is I can't say that I love doing this. People are always, hey, yeah, you love it so much. And I'm like, whoa, and I got to stop them right there from now on when they say that because it's just kind of gets to me when people, and I don't hold anything against everybody else loving what they do. They love their job and they love to fight. I love to do well and I love the competition and everything. But as far as fighting for money, it's not something I'm in love with.
Does it bum you out that you have to fight a guy that you looked up to for so long in BJ Penn? Does that bother you?
Yeah, sure it does. It's like, yeah, it's we weren't real close or anything like that. You know, but we were pretty good. Just anybody I know really. It's not. I don't think that's I don't want to see that either. I don't want to see anybody get hurt for one. People love. That's another thing too. Is I'm not in this to hurt people. That's not what I want. I'm really upset. I'm really angry, and sometimes pretty out of control by the time I go out there because this is not something I like to do. I mean, that's what you see. But yeah, I don't want anybody hurt. Sometimes you hear guys saying, oh, I'm really mad and I'm just sick of it and I really want to hurt somebody. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you, freak? You know what I mean? It's like, what? You want to hurt people? I'm like, okay. And then everybody points a finger at me and then says that I'm the crazy guy and I'm this, this thug or, but a lot of the people in this, I don't know about some of these guys, So
What do you mean?
that's just what I mean. I don't know about some of these guys. It's just kind of
Fighting GSP maybe bring out those emotions in you? Because I know between us, you've talked about fighting him for a long time. Him, Anderson, these are guys that you've always won when you were fighting in Strikeforce.
Yeah.
Would that bring out those emotions in you?
Well, these guys are, the top of the top. And I don't know what kind of emotions I would be dealing with going into those fights. I don't have anything personal against George, He's got to do what he's got to do. He's just trying to get by and win these fights and protect himself. And I'm sure he looks at it like I do. It's very dangerous. And, I think he said it before too, or, a lot of people said it before. You're going to be scared going into any fight. It's not like you're not scared to fight. You got to be stupid. If
You
you're
get
not
scared?
you
get scared before your fights?
It's a very scary situation you're in there when people are trying to manipulate positions so that they can smash your face with an elbow, or elbows and just rain it down. That's hard times, and then it's hard times dealing with that idea of what might be in front of you for your whole life. You gotta, one after another, sort of thing.
Is this the most important fight of your career? Because surely, as Dana White has intimated, if you beat BJ Penn, you're almost guaranteed to fight Carlos Condit or the winner of Carlos Condit and GSP following on.
Well, yes, then I suppose it is.
You called out George St. Pierre. You were pretty fired up in calling out George and mentioned that, potentially, he may have been scared or he was faking the injury. Can you expand on that?
I was supposed to fight George St. Pierre, not BJ Penn. And that's why my face looks banged up right now because it's discouraging to have your fight canceled and then, you're back and forth about just everything. I do what I'm told, but it was hard to find a motivation that I needed to come 100% and to want to do this. It's hard. That's just I don't mean to sit here and make excuses all day, but that was the fight that I was looking for. And I said it before. I thought maybe I didn't mean to give myself all kinds of credit or act like I'm something or because apparently I'm not too important. But I think that if I were in his position, I would have wanted to fight the Strikeforce champion. They made a big deal out of that, unifying the titles. And, it was after a while, I realized, man, I'm fooling myself thinking I'm somebody here. So, because apparently he didn't think that it was important a fight against me. He'd rather fight, he'd rather have a different, he'd rather fight Carlos Conduit or, I would have said, hey, I want to fight. I always want to go for the best fights. That's why I'm always calling out George St. Pierre. I don't have anything against George St. Pierre. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's a nice guy, just like everybody else, and he's a great role model. I would love to be that too if I was in that position. I just unfortunately haven't ever had the opportunity and the right people behind me to push me to be that type of that type of fighter or that type of role model or what you what you would like to see. I got to come off just to get a fight. I got to come off like that just to get a fight in this. You know what I'm saying? I got to be the bad guy. You're going to point the finger, make me the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. Now I get a fight.
Why do you feel that people are against you? Because I feel like a lot of
why I'm
people.
getting this fight because everybody wants to see me take an ass whooping right about now. So, all right, I'm ready. I'll take my ass whooping. I already worked for it. I'll take my ass whooping. I'll take my money, and I'll go home. I don't know. Maybe there's not enough money in the sport, man. You got Floyd Mayweather making $25 million. You know, he can't stop the double leg. You know, I go running all the time around my neighborhood. You know, out of the bad neighborhood and into a good neighborhood where I like to run. You know, I run by hundreds of these nice, huge houses with these big yards and fountains everywhere. And these people have like their, little picnic patio, little side yard, little pool, all this stuff, right? And then I take a little circle around and then go back into my neighborhood where my car gets robbed. And I got some, dude out front of my house looking for cigarette butts or something from, where some friends might have left some, or, it's ridiculous. I'm over here. All you people, everybody's watching me fight.
Let me tell you, I don't know how much houses cost up there in, in Stockton. Yeah. But bro, let me tell you what, you got enough money to move. Right. I guarantee you that. I don't know what.
While I'm fighting every 2 months, every 3 months, I might have to take a few fights off and try to situate my. You know what I'm saying? My brother moved, and it's like. It's a long story, man, but you can see what I'm working with. You guys, you would laugh. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how to go buy in a house in the middle of all this training. I didn't go to school for that. I started training jiu-jitsu when I was 16 years old. Because I got thrown around a few schools. I started training jiu-jitsu when I was 16. I went on, 100%, because I already knew I beat all these guys. I beat everybody. And that should do it. So. If I had a half a second to kind of situate something, then that'd be that. Everyone wants to make their little jokes and laugh, and Dana says too, "Then all you guys laugh at me." That's not funny, all right? If I just backed out of the fight like George did, I could have got my life together. And yeah, I could have thrown some money on something, right? And then I wouldn't have nothing to complain about. But unfortunately, that's not the situation I've been in. And nobody knows what it is, But it is what it is, and it's not a good time. It's not, and right, nobody wants to come see it. Every time I'm avoiding the press, nobody wants to come see that. That's not appealing to anybody. So, I can sit up here and just complain all day. I don't want to do that, but it's what you guys what you got me doing.
I mean, just getting the title, even the fact that
I had to fight somebody I know, had to fight somebody who we might have been friends at some point in time before, we could have had training together. They already had brought me on for training. I got to go with the sketchy feeling of all these people having some secret plan. They think they know something. They have this video on me, all this whole camp. Oh, it's not for, to go hard and then record it and put it on the internet. It's just for us. I'm like, right. Now you guys have all this footage of me. In case you ever want to fight, I don't know what to think about, that's why I don't make friends. I'm over here shaking hands and doing all this, show up with 3 other fighters from the UFC and hang out. No, if we're going to be fighting, we ain't friends. I ain't even going to start that. Next thing you know, Dana's going to make us fight. That's not what I want. That's not good for the fan. I don't want to see that either. We make 2 people fight each other and their friends and they go out there and give each other a hug and then go into the 3rd round. What the hell is that? Nobody wants to see that. I mean, well, not where I'm from. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see them wrestling match. Nothing against the wrestling.
GSP has been all over the media saying that he really wants to beat you and fight you, and he wants you to win on Saturday night. He's rooting for you, even though he has a relationship with Carlos. They trained together in the past because he wants to beat you that badly and teach you a lesson. What do you make of that? Because that's not something that we usually hear from George.
I think a lot of that stuff isn't very genuine. I don't know how much of it is and isn't really. So I can't tell really how much of that's for real. Cause I know that like, come press conference and after the last fight, when everybody was saying that he wants to fight and he's pumped up and heated and angry. And I'm like, that's not true, man. You know, cause if someone says, you know, I just think that, I think that, they were, you know, just a lot of people are putting a lot of pressure on him to say these sorts of things. It's not really him. I think he should just stick to what he does. Or I mean, I would, I guess. But so to me, George is probably, you know, out of these strong guys, he's more of a technical martial artist is what you have, but he still, it doesn't change things. I think he's a strong guy. And you have fighter versus strong guy.
I actually saw a clip that the UFC put out a couple of days ago, and the top comment on the clip, it was a preview clip, was from someone named Nick Diaz 209 saying that was not what you said. And I'm wondering if that was you, and if you do go online and look,
Right, yeah,
was that you?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate that. Yeah, because that's the kind of thing I you know, that drives me crazy. It gets me going. It gets me all into this mode where I'm going off about this whole subject because people are making me say, you know, like. You know, I'm not standing here like, oh, you know, Saturday I'm gonna come out on top, or I'm planning on doing this, or I'm gonna win, or I'm, you know, like I didn't say that. I had this build up, and it's like, you know, I'm saying two things, and then Carlos is saying two things, I'm saying two things, and then it says, yeah, I'm gonna come out on top. It doesn't say I'm gonna come out on top like normal, like I said. I didn't say it. They took my voice and put, I'm gonna come out on top. Like it's me talking two different times, and they slapped it in there. What did they do to you? What was that? What did it say when they did that to you? I'm gonna knock him out, tap him out. But it was actually, I'm gonna knock him out, tap him out. It wasn't like, you know, I'm gonna knock him out or tap him out. It was like, you know, they chopped it and they made him say what they wanted him to say, and they did that to me too. And that's really big. That's all people hear is me talking. Like, oh, I'm going to come out on top like I'm overly confident, or, you know, I'm talking that confidence or whatever. And I'm like, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. You don't need to make me do that, you know? I think he's more of a dangerous fighter. You know, may not, like you're more in danger of losing a decision to George St. Pierre. I think you're more in danger of losing your teeth if you're fighting Condit here.
To your left, right?
Going to ask you why you weren't here yesterday and what happened and whose fault was it?
There you go. Thanks, Dana.
I know you, man.
Appreciate it. That was actually my question.
That's it.
What happened yesterday?
Well, it was either I missed that or I missed this, but I was gonna have to catch up on some sleep. I was on some later hours, and I think it outweighed the repercussions. And I'm sorry for the fans. I'd like to put on a show for the fans, but I also like to put on a show for the fans Saturday night. So I'm just trying to make the best decisions to make a showing at 100%. I would like to put off the best image I could if I was given the opportunity. To be honest with you, I think a lot of times, you know, they just, you know, they're pretty much making me out to be the evil villain. I fit the description as the evil villain. I think George, he you know, fits the description as a good guy, especially you know. But you know, you look at my poster. You know, I mean, no offense, but you guys had plenty of time to switch the poster. That poster's like the picture of me is like from years ago. I mean, can I get one, you know, buttered up Photoshop picture in a magazine or in you know what I mean, on a poster? I've had plenty of ugly posters. I know they could do better than that, but they're not worried about it. So I like to think, you know, I hate to play the victim card, but I like to think it's not always my fault that I come off the way I do. I just you know, and you know, who knows how I'm gonna act or you know, how they're gonna feel about it later. But there's one thing for sure, like I might not always be able to fight for money or fight for my money, but I'll always fight for my dignity. And so, you know, people are going to have to make do with that. UFC is going to have to make do with that if they want to see me fight or if they want to have me fighting.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks.
Do you feel like the UFC pictures you as the villain? And does it bother you? Does it piss you off?
Sure, yeah. You know, and, you know, they like to make me look like the bad guy. George likes to say I remind him of George likes to say I remind him of the bullies that picked on him growing up or they had to deal with. You know, I'm gonna say like, how many times you had a gun to your head, George? How many times someone put a gun to your head? How many of your best friends been shot through the chest with a 45? Or how many of your best friends been stomped, put to sleep into a coma? And you know, we all had to deal with these things in life. Should I go? I mean, how many kids put gum in your hair growing up? Like, should I go further back? I mean, we have to deal with these things. You know, it's hard times for everybody, and a lot of times it's what makes us fighters. And if it wasn't for that, I hate everybody pulling the bully card. All bullies, I hate bullies. You know, I doubt he was ever a hopeless person. And you know, if it wasn't for what I went through, who knows if I would have made it in life? Who knows if I'd be who I am today? So, you know, I just had to live through it and work through it. But I don't go and point the finger and decide that people are the bully, like who, you know, tortured me as a child. I don't want anybody to see anybody hurt. I don't believe anybody out here, you know, working towards greatness deserves to be beat down and smashed in. I just don't. That's not how the fans out there that, you know, they like violence. People like violence. You know, I like to think that it's the funniest thing, but I like to think I'm not a violent person. I'm a martial artist, and I like to be respected.
Has nothing to do with
but you told the fans that I deserve to get beat down, and you told the fans that I chase you around, or you told the fans.
You told the fan I was scared of you and avoiding you.
Yeah, I got the fight too, right? You can understand that. I'm working towards something here. All right, everybody knows that, you know. And sorry I had to do that to get the fight, but you know, you know, they're selling you all wolf tickets, people. You're eating them right up. George here is selling you wolf tickets. Dana here, he's selling you wolf tickets. The UFC is selling you some wolf tickets. You guys are eating them right up. For the fans, you know, they like to say, like, I'm not, you know, I don't deserve to be here. I ain't beat nobody, top ranked, top fighters, top level fighters. I'll tell you what, bro. You know, I was out there, I was fighting all the hitters, bro. You ain't fought no hitters. I was out there, I was fighting hitters the whole time. I'm the one that's risking brain damage, getting smashed out. You know, these guys are coming out trying to wrestle you out, and you take these punches, then you start quitting early. You know, I say Jake Shields won the fight. I think Carlos, he won the fight too. You know, the way that right now today mixed martial arts works, the way the scoring works, the way it's geared towards wrestling, I don't think it's right for martial arts, for mixed martial arts. I think that it nullifies the action. We want to see a lot of jiu-jitsu. We want to see transitions. We want to see movement. If you can hold people in elbow, just like I've always said, you know, I'm going to have to create the same amount of space to punch down on you as a guy on bottom is going to need to make it back to his feet. But you know, we're holding people, rubbing them out with elbows the whole time, and so that's action. So the ref's not going to stand it up. People should be called for stalling. They should be point deducted for stalling or holding. The guy should be yelling action. I think that should just be added in. This is just my opinions as a martial artist. I think it's plain to see for you know, anybody else that's at this level of martial arts, including these guys who, you know, I'm sure agree with it, but they like the game the way it is because it works for them. You know, they'd love to ignore it and not talk about it. The strong guy on steroids would love to ignore it. You know, and he wants to go in there and avoid the fight and hold on and get the takedown and win the round. I'd love a 10-minute round. See who could work through a 10-minute round. That's what happened, bro.
Do you really think I'm afraid of you?
Man, that's fine. Okay, no, I don't.
You think I'm afraid of you, man? Are you crazy in your head, man? I'm not scared of you. You'll see Saturday if I'm scared of you.
All right. I'm intimidating, right? That's my plan, to intimidate you out. Okay. I don't believe that the world champion is afraid of me.
I don't
believe the world champion is afraid of anything.
I'm not on steroid, man.
I don't think that. I don't think you're scared of anybody, bro. I don't. We'll see if they test who for steroids or what.
I hope they do.
Okay. Yeah. You hope they do. What, for me to test positive for steroids ain't gonna happen.
The guy who comes out of this fight, the winner, is definitely the #1 contender.
Why are you mad, bro? Because you're full of shit and everybody knows it? Is that why? Why are you mad for Saturday night? Watch what happens Saturday night. I say
I'm not mad at you, Nick. I don't wish you a bad life.
All right. Well, I understand you got to pump the fight, and
I didn't say nothing bad.
Things didn't go well. Things didn't go well for you. Okay, I understand. All right, but if you weren't selling wolf tickets this whole time, if you weren't selling bullshit this whole time, if you weren't selling no bullshit, we wouldn't. You wouldn't be sitting in this position where you're like, oh well, shouldn't have done that. No.
I'm in the same boat as you. They took some line that I answered a question maybe 3 years ago. They put it in the promo.
No, it wasn't, bro. That was not 3 years ago.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know the dark place stuff. I don't remember this. They are probably talking about me because I tried to be a nice guy and people said something bad about me. I'm like, yeah, I'm dark in my head. Sometimes when people insult me, I'm getting angry in my head. Yeah, I don't know when it was the interview. I didn't remember said that. They put on the promo. Like it's the promo. That's why we're gonna make money on Saturday, man. That's what sells. It's the people like to see fight when there's emotion. Me, I don't focus on that right now. I'm focusing only on my fight, and that's it. I don't wish nothing bad to you. Nothing. It's a fight, and the best man will win. That's it. I'm going there and gonna do my best. The best prepare I can be.
I recommend for any fighter, as I would for any of my students, to go ahead and sweat out some of that toxic water that you're holding from the airplane. It's got to happen. It's got to happen, dude. You cannot be going to bed with that toxic shit inside of you. When you have a fight next couple of days, I'm gonna catch up on some sleep. I was gonna do it the first night. I'm gonna miss this press conference. I'm here. I'm well rested. That's why I'm here. I like to think I'm here at my best today, and I think that was more important than an open workout. I've given a lot of open workouts, and like I said, I apologize for the fans that they missed out on that excursion. And I had to pick a day to get some rest, and I got in here at 12 o'clock at night. George lives here, and he's trying to say it's unfair, and it's not fair that he had to do it. And I'm like, you live here, bro. And you got to do an open workout. I would have liked to do an open workout. I would have liked to do that. So, I'm sorry I didn't make it. So I apologize that I'm such a no-show. And I've showed up to every fight. I never walked away from any fights that, that were, less than 2 people, or that was. I hate to sit out here and make a million reasons why I didn't do well, but I don't know. I was trying to time this whole hours delay between the U.S. and here, and I was so confused. I just had some kind of coach telling me, "Listen, you're gonna have to go to sleep, dude, or you're gonna have to." Because I was like, "Should I stay up? Should I go to sleep?" And I was like, I slept all the way till 8 o'clock today, thinking like, man, I don't know if that's gonna help me or if that's gonna work against me. But I was like fucking taking a nap out there. I had all this air, just my stomach wasn't right. The only time I felt good was when I was out there actually standing across from him, and then I was like, all right, maybe I can do this shit. But I've had I've been a lot more ready for a lot of fights. I don't think they're not gonna. Come on, everybody knows they're not gonna pay me no money to fight these guys. I wind up in a fight with Carlos again, or what's that gonna do for me? These guys hit hard. They're not joking. They're still trying to do this, and I've had a lot more fights than most of these guys. Carlos is the #1 guy that they try to match me up with again, I would imagine, but I don't know. I'd have to really go home and think about that and decide on like how that's going to benefit me. But I wouldn't hesitate for 2 seconds to take a fight with a rematch or take not that I even think for a second that anybody's going to give me a rematch, but I think I can win. I think I can beat you. That's what I think. But I think I have a better shot at Anderson Silva too. I really do. For what I know it may sound crazy to all these wrestling fans out there, but it's just what I see as my opinion. Now that I have a little bit more money, you know what? I've never paid taxes in my life. I'm probably gonna go to jail. That's not because I don't have nobody wants to hear about that, huh? Nobody wants to hear about that kind of talk or what's really going on with me. But I might as well just be a kid. I've had fight after fight after fight after fight. You don't know what that does to somebody that didn't graduate high school. You don't understand. Okay, so everybody has to take that. I mean, nobody has to do shit, but you can take it into consideration for a second. Think about what 3 fights a year will do to you your whole life. And then the only time you have some time off, it's not like a vacation. It's a very depressing thing. Everybody's telling you you're this piece of shit, suspended. You ain't fighting this guy. You ain't fighting that guy. You're gonna come back and have to, dance around with a bunch of hard hitting people. It's just not. It's a rough sport.
So what needs to happen then for you to stay in the sport?
I'll fight one of these guys. He wants to have a rematch. He's gonna fight Johnny. I don't know why you guys are sitting next to each other. You guys are gonna fight. I don't understand that. You're gonna sit right next. You're gonna talk about fighting him like real quick. I don't think anybody wants to see that still to this day. And I watched some of the fight with Carlos here. I thought he did a great job versus Johnny here. I hate that he lost. I hate it. I hate it that he lost, because I don't think, no offense, I don't think he lost though. I just think that the way that this sport is geared towards a wrestler, going on top every round. And, it used to, if you watch the Pride FC, which is gone now, disappeared, like you got to punch the guy. You got to punch down, take the elbows out. And if you're going to make some good punches, it makes a lot of space too. So that also, makes it a little easier for the guy on bottom. When he's not trying to dodge elbows, then you can make some attacks and do some guard. I know Joe Rogan would like to see some bottom game, but I just don't think it's going to happen when guys are just trying to lay flat or trying to sit up for the elbow. But they were and this guy has no punching power. No offense, I'm sorry, you're a wrestler, but he don't have punching power. Okay, he has a full range to punch me from the back, right? And I got hit with an elbow too. That didn't cut me, but something hit me right here, and I wound up with a cut. But not that. I don't know. That's he said he had an issue with his wraps. Maybe he had something wrong with his wraps. I don't know. I ain't gonna accuse him of anything. I did get hit with one shot that didn't feel like it was hard. I still opened a cut on my head, but I could talk shit all day. You know what I mean? I'm gonna talk shit. I'm not finished. I'm not beat up. I fight. The goddamn 5 rounds woke me up, and I'm ready to fight. I don't know how people feel about it either. I don't even know how I feel about it when I don't watch the fight. I don't know if people are like, "Yeah, I had you on these rounds." I don't know what the judges are thinking, or I know how I feel at the end of the fight. I'm like, well, I don't know what the judges are thinking, but I'm like, I definitely pushed forward the whole time, so. I don't know. I don't know how they judge fights sometimes, because nowadays they're adding scoring, and sometimes they go like, oh, damage, and sometimes they go, oh, this guy did more work. It's like a whole new ball game right now in this last couple of years. But I've been in here for at least 12 years or so, where it's a whole different story. That's why I was even spouting off. For some reason, I always spout off about Sean Sherk because, I think I got the takedown in that fight, got more punches and moved around, but he worked harder and threw a lot. And they're like, oh, well, the judges like that because he, kind of like right in front of your face. Like, that's all I did. It was like, right, nothing hit me. I was like, hey.
Do you feel like this is something that you want to do again? Or, with all the difficulties you had and all the struggles to get here, do you feel like maybe it's not for you?
Yeah, no, it's really crazy, coming out here and I'm kind of tired of being a loser, I've been still here, but I was losing all these fights. It's just
You know, I'm doing well though. Versus, I mean, as far as this being a job, but I mean, versus the other guys that are out here. So yeah, I'm happy to. You know, I guess it's you know, I put on a show for these fans. So I don't know what to make of it right now. But I don't know what people think either. I don't know how you guys saw the fight. I don't know if you guys are sitting there like, yeah, he thinks he won. Or how stupid. You know what I mean? Like, how does he think he won? I'm like, well, you know, it's one thing. Like, you know, you sit there and you try to get a guy on the scorecards. You try to get the knockout. You know, you win like that. You win with the knockout. I just never try to beat somebody on the scorecards. It's never happened. It's not in me, I don't think. And I'm real quick to just criticize somebody for even going there. I'm like, are you doing this really? Are you really gonna not try and finish this fight and do this fight? You're gonna do another fight where it's moving around? You know, I have a lot of respect. You know, you see me out here and try to intimidate this dude leading up to the fight or anything like that. You know, maybe that could have won me the fight. He stayed the hell away from me the first round. When I came out, flipped the switch on him and started saying, you know, I'm not coming out to touch gloves with anybody. I've been shake hands before the fight. Shit, I mean, so as long as everybody's straight up, then everybody's straight up. You know, nobody's stepping out of line. And we shake hands before the fight too. You know, of course, you know, if somebody steps out of line, and we ain't shaking hands until after the fight. So, I mean, you know, bump a fist or nothing. Why am I do that? That's gonna make the fans happy? No. It's gonna make Dana White happy? No. It ain't gonna make me happy either if I lose the fight. So it's just a different mentality about fighting. Sometimes I think
I don't like to talk bad about anybody that I'm not going to be fighting, but you know, some of these guys are like, okay, bro, I'm like, you're from the hood or the ghetto, or you know, you come from. I'm like, you know, you got your whole get up. I'm like, where'd you know, stylistically? I'm like, come on, dude. I wasn't born yesterday. I'm like, you did not come from some kind of shit background. You came from some money. You know what I mean? You came from a background of winners, and that's great for you. But you know, when you're coming up out of nothing, it's there's a lot to it. You know, you got to make ends meet, and that's what you're seeing is somebody who's done that. You know, I like to think like when it comes to me or it comes to my brother, and yeah, that's what you know. When it happens, it's a show. You get the show. It's like me. You know, I should be fighting 185. I'm well over 185 right now. But it's really hard. It's a lot of hard work for me to get down to that weight. That's why you've seen a lot of times in my career where I'm fighting 3 times a year. I'm like, you're fighting 3 times a year. If you don't get, you know, one of these fights just work well for you, you know, like you match up against this guy good, then, you know, out of 3 fights a year, one of those you're gonna have, you know, you're gonna fall short a little bit. You only have, you know, 3 fights in 1 year. You have 3 months in between these fights. Before you fight again. That's not, you know, 1 month is not any sort of break. It's not a break. It's like, try to get your life together. Try to, you know, amount to some sort of understanding, come to some understandings. You know, there's no sort of social life outside of the training. And, you know, it's kind of hard to work like, especially when you don't come from a big city and you come from a small town, everybody's talking and seeing things from the outside that you're not seeing. And you're just seeing, you know, from your small place that you're in. And then, you know, you throw a fit, you don't know any better, but, you know, so that can happen. But, and it has, and you know, but now that, you know, the two of us or me, myself, you know, after a while you paint a picture and you see what's what, and I think everybody else does too.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for the time. A pleasure as always to see you, Nick, and we'll leave the legal stuff to another time. Enjoy the victory, and I know a lot of people are happy to see you again. Congrats to both you and your brother and the rest of the team.
Thank you. See you later.